Dear viewers of Dharwad Katte, welcome to this special program on NEP 2020. I thank the Prime Minister of this wonderful nation for implementing National Education Policy 2020. I like the policy, I support the policy, I am in favor of implementing NEP 2020 across all educational institutions from primary school to universities across the nation. I'm not interested in the political aspect of NEP 2020 because some of the state governments in India have vehemently opposed NEP 2020, and not just that, they have decided not to implement NEP 2020 at all. For instance, the previous government in Karnataka implemented NEP 2020 and started, educational programs in all colleges and universities in the state of Karnataka. But when the new government came to power, it decided to do away with NEP 2020 and introduce state education policy in place of NEP 2020. It created a mess and it created a lot of problems to the students and to the teachers and to the educational institutions. But we are a nation and we have a federal structure, we have a central government and a state government. And all the governments in India have to agree on 2 points. One, education, and second, the security of the nation. When it comes to the security of the nation, all the parties and all the governments, state governments, should be within the government of India because it's a national crisis. But opposition parties in India often prove that they do not have any political maturity at all because they differ from government on all issues, including the nation's security and safety. But I confine my views only to NEP 2020 today. Some of my friends, colleagues, employees, research scholars, students often ask me some questions about NEP and request me to clarify. So I must thank the Katte for taking the initiative to conduct programs on NEP 2020, and I take this opportunity to answer to some important 10 questions which my students, colleagues, friends keep on asking me. And the first question is, what is the central aim of the National Education Policy NEP 2020? My answer to this question is, National Education Policy 2020 aims to transform India's education system by ensuring holistic, multidisciplinary, flexible, and inclusive education aligned with the 21st century needs. I made it very clear in the beginning of my discussion that I must, or we must rather, we must thank the government of India and also the committee that was responsible for the for drafting this wonderful National Education Policy 2020. And I call it's national in true sense of the spirit, and it addresses all Indian educational issues and problems. So, and also this NEP 2020 ensures holistic and multidisciplinary, flexible, and inclusive education aligned with 21st century needs. I think I need to explain this further so that you will have a clear idea about the objectives of National Education Policy 2020. And first of all, it often talks about what we call holistic development of the student. And for a long time, especially during the last 20 to 30 years, we believed in specialization, and we believed in fragmentation, and we believed in departmentalization. This over our focus on number one, specialization, and number two, departmentalization, and number three, compartmentalization, has led to huge education problems in the country, because our students understand just one aspect of education, and they were not in the position to understand various dimensions or all aspects of a single discipline, because they were interested only in one aspect of it. But NEP 2020 made it a point that we need to develop, we need to put a lot of emphasis on holistic development. Holistic development means the overall development of the students. And a student has to develop not just intellectually, physically, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, and so on. And this becomes possible only when we ensure this holistic development of the student. Multidisciplinary and this holistic nature of education, they have interconnection. So for instance, in the past, we were telling our students to approach a subject from one perspective. Okay, but now NEP makes it mandatory for what we call multidisciplinary approach. Multidisciplinary approach, and what we do is in multidisciplinary approach, we take help from two subjects, or we take help from different disciplines to find an answer to the problem, to resolve a problem. We take help from different disciplines. And in case of interdisciplinary, the different subjects remain independent. They remain independent, but they help us in finding a solution to the problem. And in case of multidisciplinary, so combining two disciplines or combining more disciplines, we evolve a strategy, a strategy or a pattern to resolve a problem. And here disciplines get mixed. They get mixed. And in case of interdisciplinary, we go beyond interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary approaches. We involve stakeholders, we involve people, we involve institutions to resolve the problem. And this is one of the highlights of NEP 2020. For the first time, we are hearing such very, very important terms like holistic development, interdisciplinary approach, multidisciplinary approach, interdisciplinary approach, and so on. And next is flexible. Flexibility makes education more meaningful and more purposeful. We didn't have any flexibility in the past, because a student of arts program cannot in the past could not study any subject, any science subject, and now we have given flexibility to these students. They can make choices. It's a choice-based credit system. Choice-based credit system. We follow credit system, and we have given freedom to the students to make their choices. And what we call silos, we have removed. Boundaries, we have removed. Boundaries between subjects, between disciplines, and have been completely eliminated. A student of, for instance, a student of MA English program can study as an elective any subject of his choice from arts, commerce, management, engineering, science, music, fine arts, and so on. So now they enjoy their studies, they enjoy their college life, their university life, because For the first time, the government has given them the choice, the freedom to make their choices. This is the beauty of in NEP 2020. And inclusive education. It's all inclusive, not exclusive. A student is given freedom to study any subject of his choice, major, minor, elective, and value added, VAC. There are many options given to the students, and it's aligned with the 21st century needs. It's not enough if we help students gain knowledge in one particular discipline. A student should acquire skills. This is an age of skill. Okay, students have to acquire skills, not just one skill, many skills, and he should acquire knowledge not just in one discipline, in many disciplines, because he has to compete with the students across the nation. So unless we give them inclusive education, unless we give them holistic education, interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary education, they cannot develop the necessary ability and strength to compete with the students coming from across the globe. Second question, normally my students and my colleagues and my research scholars ask me is, how does NEP 2020 restructure school education? NEP 2020 has given a beautiful shape to Indian education system. And NEP replaces the 10 plus 2 system with the 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 uh, curricular structure based on cognitive and developmental stages. So this is very important. The cognitive development of the student should be taken into consideration while framing the syllabus, while preparing the draft education policy. If the draft education policy fails to address the needs and requirements of the children as well as grown-up students, it doesn't serve any purpose at all. And NEP does this, and it has replaced the old systems and introduced new ones, and this is one of them. Next question is, what is the significance of mother tongue or regional language in NEP 2020? We must thank the government of India and the Prime Minister and everybody, the Education Minister and everybody who is connected with NEP 2020 and who is responsible for NEP 2020 for introducing many reforms in the NEP 2020. I'm sure these reforms will bring about a remarkable change in the development of the personalities of our students and the faculty members. And NEP has almost de-recognized English in our curriculum and syllabus, but English will dominate the education system and our syllabus and our teaching for some more time till we develop our regional languages or mother tongue. But we must thank the government for recognizing the importance and significance of mother tongue or regional language. NEP 2020 recommends mother tongue or local language as the medium of instruction till at least grade 5, preferably till grade 8. So NEP 2020 has made it very clear, crystal clear in the document that the medium of education for the children in all the schools in India, has got to be mother tongue or regional language till grade 5, preferably till grade 8, to improve comprehension and learning outcomes. So there is, if a child learns education in its mother tongue, it will very quickly, develop its ability to comprehend and also its ability to learn outcomes. What I'm trying to say to you is that if we give education to our children in their mother tongue, at least till grade A, grade 5 or 8, they will not only develop their cognitive power, they also develop their analytical power and their critical ability. These are the objectives of education. If our students do not develop their cognitive ability and critical analytical ability, education does not serve any purpose at all. Next question is, what changes what changes does NEP 2020 propose in higher education? And NEP 2020 revolutionized higher education in the country for the first time. And if we successfully implement NEP 2020 in our colleges and universities, I'm sure that our students will acquire the necessary intellectual, physical, mental strength to compete with any bright student coming from across the globe. This is the beauty of NEP 2020. So, NEP 2020 promotes multidisciplinary universities, and this is not just an ideal, this is not just an aim, and it has to become a reality. And I'm sure that maybe in a year or two, the governments, the state governments in India, will take the necessary initiatives, steps to either establish multidisciplinary universities or convert the existing universities into multidisciplinary universities and colleges. Flexibility in course choices and the phasing out of rigid disciplinary boundaries. And these boundaries have created a lot of problems for both students and students and teachers communities. And these boundaries have been completely eliminated in NEP 2020. And flexibility in choosing the courses is given to the students. And the phasing out of rigid disciplinary boundaries is the need of the hour. And I request all the vice chancellors and all the state government education departments and also central government to make sure that all the universities in India take steps quickly, not only to implement NEP 2020, but also run educational and research programs as per the guidelines of the NEP 2020. Next question is, what is the academic bank of credit? And this academic bank of credit, which is called ABC, is one of the recommendations of NEP 2020. Gone are the days when if you when a student fails in a subject, he has only two years to clear it. If he fails to clear it, he will not get the degree. But this has changed, and this has changed drastically, because the government, the UGC created ABC, and all the universities, I'm sure, in the country have implemented this in their educational institutions. So ABC is a digital repository of academic credits that allows students to accumulate, transfer, and redeem credits across institutions. This is the beauty of ABC. And o- all the credits that the students earn, will be deposited in ABC, and they will remain in ABC for a certain number of years. And if the students want to move from one institute to another institute, we call it horizontal mobility. For instance, there is an ex-student is studying in a particular college in Dharwad, and he wants to move to Bengaluru. And yes, it is possible. It is possible, and he can join for the same program in any other institute. So he can complete one semester in one institute and for the second semester he can go to any institute and take admission, and the credits that he has earned in his previous institute get transferred to the new institute. So this you know um, transfer of credits is extremely important, and the credits can be stored in ABC for 5 to 7 years. If a student wants to come back and join any institute for the same program, he can do so, provided he redeems. There is a mechanism to redeem the credits that he has scored. So this is the beauty of ABC, academic bank of credits. So whatever credits you earn, they remain stored. You can deposit your credits and use the same whenever you require. What are multiple entry and exit option under NEP 2020? This is the beauty of NEP 2020. I love NEP 2020 for this special provision. See, in the past, if a student failed in a subject a few years ago, he would be given 2 years to clear his backlog. If he failed to clear his backlogs within 2 years, then he would forego his degree. He had to re-register. He had to seek readmission. So this was extremely problematic for the students. Now, no need at all, because there is provision for multiple entry and exit. For instance, if a student takes admission to BA program in a college, he can leave the program after 1 year. If he leaves the program after 1 year, he will be given, certificate. If he leaves the program after 2 years, he will be given diploma certificate. If he leaves the program after 3 years, he will get BA degree, BA or BSc, BCom degree in the liberal arts, science, etc., etc. If he completes 4-year PG program, UG program, then he will get, BA honors with research, without research. After he completes his 4-year PG with research, he can straight join, PhD program, provided he clears, he qualifies NET exam, and also he qualifies the entrance exam conducted by the ministry. Or he can join 1 year PG program, and a student will have two options after he completes 4-year UG program with research. And without research, then he can join 1 year PG program. Then he can join PhD program. And also, students can exit and re-enter degree program with a certificate, diplomas, degrees awarded based on credits earned. For instance, if a student leaves the program after earning 24 credits with certificate, after a gap of a year or two, he can come back to the same institute, or he can go to any institute and continue his education for one more year, 2 semesters, earn 24 credits, and for 44 credits, roughly, he will get a diploma certificate. If he is not in a position to continue his education, he can again leave, and after a gap of a year or two, he can come back and finish his BA, and he can again leave and come back, finish his UG, UG honors program with or without research. So there are provisions for multiple entry and exit. This is the beauty of NEP 2020. Next question is, how does NEP 2020 emphasize skill development? I made it very clear in the beginning that this is an era of a skill. This is an age of skill. It is not enough if you gain knowledge in just one discipline. You will have to gain knowledge in multiple disciplines on the one hand, and on the other, you will have to develop some skills. And NEP does talk about these skills. Um, it integrates vocational education, internships, and skill-based learning into school and higher education, curricula. Next question is, what reforms does NEP 2020 suggest in assessment and evaluation? Assessment and evaluation is extremely problematic in this country. Now NEP has resolved this problem. So it shifts from the rote learning to competency based formative and continuous assessment. NEP talks about continuous assessment. So don't test student just in one exam, semester end exam or annual exam. A student has to be assessed on a continuous basis. So it puts greater emphasis on what we call formative assessment, and it shifts from rote learning to competency based formative and continuous assessment, focusing on conceptual understanding. Rote learning proved to be extremely problematic for everybody. So memorization does not serve any purpose. Rote learning does not serve any purpose. So you will have to understand a subject. You will have to understand a subject, and you have to have clarity about the conceptual understanding of a subject. And NEP has recognized the importance of it, and it has made recommendations in the draft. Next question is, what is the role of research in NEP 2020? NEP 2020 proposes the National Research Foundation, NRF, to promote quality research across disciplines. So a few years ago, at the domestic level and at the international level, many people used to make comments that the quality of research carried out in many universities in India was not up to the mark. And NEP 2020 recognized the importance of research, because the government spends hundreds and thousands of crores of money on research carried out in the Indian colleges and educational institutions. So, to promote and improve the quality research across disciplines, the government has established the National Research Foundation, NRF. The National Research Foundation, which is called NRF, is not only monitoring research being carried out in colleges and universities, but also it promotes by granting funds and other facilities to the institutions to enable its the faculty and the research scholars to carry out quality research. And the last question is, how does NEP 2020 address equity and inclusion? And any education policy has to address these two important issues, that is equity and inclusion. And India is a democratic country, and Indian government is a democratically elected government. So all the scheme that government introduces are extended to every single citizen in living in this country, irrespective of their religion and religious, political, and ethical affiliations, and so on. So it focuses on universal access. Universal access. Everybody has access to education in India, and in this sense, India is the most beautiful country, because it is a truly democratic function. So democracy in India is a reality, and it is functional. So NEP 2020 focuses on universal access, scholarships, special education zones, and support for disadvantaged groups to ensure inclusive education. And we must thank the government and the scholars who are responsible for drafting NEP 2020, because it is very comprehensive, very detailed, and it addresses all or many important educational issues, problems and challenges. And the successful implementation of NEP 2020 will, I'm sure, help students to develop holistically, and also develop their knowledge, not only in their respective disciplines, but also in several disciplines. Thank you so much.